Okay, hi. Welcome. My name's Shaughnessy. Welcome to our Facebook Live.
My name is Marcus Coloma, and I am sitting next to the famous Moss that apparently has its own Twitter account. So any questions on that will be encouraged. Any questions on anything will be encouraged.
Please ask questions. Oh, and
also I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm James Patrick Stuart. I play Valentine Cassadine, but I once played Dr. Moss.
Really?
In the movie It's Complicated. Dr.
Oh,
Moss.
I saw that actually.
Yeah, that's my Moss
right. Meryl
connection.
Streep and Alec Baldwin.
So there's two Mosses on screen.
Yeah.
So we have been asked by our social media director, what have we been doing as we've developed a relationship as father and Cassadines, and we've been stumped.
well, a lot of breakfast burritos have been shared.
Actually, that's a good point.
We've been eating a lot of burritos together.
A lot of burritos.
Commissary.
I mean, there's really no better
bonding experience
than some burritos.
Than a burrito.
Yeah.
And breakfast burrito.
Any other questions? Please ask questions.
Well, ask people can ask questions in the comments. But yeah, just what's it been like for you guys developing this new era of like the Cassadine dynasty on PH? Because it does go back a very long time.
I must confess, I'm not that deep of a thinker, but I am delighted to have Charles Shaughnessy on the show because he gets all the dialogue. Every time he opens his mouth, it's like a one-act play, and Marcus and I can just kick back and go,
absolutely.
Phew.
Yeah.
Well, it's helpful. I get a lot of exposition on the sort of past of the Cassadines, of which I'm clueless. I'm constantly doing scenes with people, and halfway through the scene I realize they're actually my niece or daughter or ex-lover. So one of the first things I always ask when I'm working with an actor is, do I like you or am I trying to kill you? And then depending on the answer, I know how to play the scene.
But what's interesting for me, because I'm pretty self-absorbed, is that when I watch you do all that and nail it first take after first take after first take, I personally get insecure because I start to think, there's no way I'd be able to do that.
Maybe I can't work with this.
How can you be
I'm
this
a professional.
sharp?
I can't work with this.
Yeah, right. Forget about it.
James, Barbara wants to know if, I mean, I don't think we can actually say this or not, but she is asking if there's going to be a nurses' ball this year. So I would say, for you, what's that like when Frank tells you that you're going to be in the nurses' ball?
Is there going to be a nurses' ball this year? I'm not 100% certain on that one. If I can tell you what it's like when Frank calls you on the loudspeaker, please come up, and he doesn't ask you. He doesn't say, would you be willing? It's always, you're doing the nurses' ball. And the first time I did it, I thought, isn't that thing where everybody gets in their skivvies and shakes their butts in the camera? And he said yes. No, but you know, it's actually a lot of fun to show different sides. I think you're a musician also, so have you got a chance to do it yet?
No, the only one I did, there was a speech where I ended up writing a big check, and I just announced that I was going to give a big check at the nurses' ball. So I haven't had to do it yet.
But you can play and you can sing, so it's only a matter of time.
Yeah,
so.
We'll see.
Frank's watching, so.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I maybe play the spoon.
Maybe that was Frank asking
nice.
the question.
Yeah. I think we're lucky because I don't think the Cassadines will ever have to get in the skivvies. I mean, you never know.
No.
But
the Cassadines are probably trying to blow it up.
Yeah.
For one reason or another.
Yeah. Lights will fall.
Yeah.
I think this is a good question for everyone. Michelle Lawson wants to know what the best part of working with Maura West is. Marcus, we can start with you.
She's a great kisser. I think
Ooh.
I
was hoping we were going to go deeper than that because that's where I was going to go.
Oh, really? Dang. Okay. I mean, it's a long list. She is so nice as a person, and then when she clicks into Ava Jerome, there's always so many different layers. There's so many different ways that she'll do something that surprise you, and she's always super connected. It's just a pleasure working with Maura West, in my experience.
Gentlemen, do you have anything to add?
I do, yeah. I mean, she's always, her character is so specific, and it's so unique to who she is as a person. You know, it's almost like it's like being with like Kathleen Turner or some film noir. It's like being in a black and white romance. She's so strong. And yeah, like Marcus said, she's an incredibly decent person, and I love talking to her about our children and she's professional. I mean,
Right.
She knows. I don't know that I've ever seen her go up on a piece of dialogue.
And what's really nice working with her and working with really good actors is that they're professional, as you say, but they have fun. There's a great sense of fun with Maura. She's always, when you're working on a scene, there's a kind of rhythm that she'll do something a little different that makes you do something a little different. There's always a twinkle in the eye. There's always a little humor underneath it that you don't expect, which makes it like a game. It makes it like a little ping pong game, which is so delightful to play. So I haven't worked with her that many. I'm the new kid on the block, but the times that we have worked together have been just utterly delightful.
James, Jennifer Moore she says, give us the tea on Valentine and Anna. Will they be heating up?
Well, will Valentine and Anna be heating up?
Vanna, right?
Yeah, Vanna. I certainly hope so. They've set the stage for that for a long time now, and I just love the notion that it was a love that was bordering on obsession for Valentine, and he had no business thinking he could ever have her in his life, and yet circumstances have come into play that they find themselves staring longingly at each other and kissing from time to time. So the question is, it better happen fast, because reality will come crashing down, and they'll realize that nothing beyond infatuation exists. There's no way they're going to live happily ever after, but will they go for it anyway is kind of exciting and raunchy and wrong, right? So I like that. I would probably bet on that. Yeah.
Marisol, who is clearly a Nicholas fan, I think she's setting you guys up. What's it like working with Marcus Coloma?
I can take this one. Not since Brando has. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say that. Not since Brando has there been a smolder like Marcus Coloma.
Boy, that guy's got smolder, man.
I actually worked with you. I worked with you on, what was it, like your second or third day?
Yeah.
Where you and I had to go toe to toe.
Yes.
At the wedding, and you carried a soaking wet Maura West
That's
in
correct.
from being thrown over the parapet. Yeah, you were. That would talk about baptism by fire. That was like day 2, right?
That was intense. Yeah.
But you held your own. It was really inspiring.
Thank you.
Tasha, she's asking, I mean, obviously we can't talk specifically about story details, but she wants to know if Victor's going to be caught for going after Laura. So I think maybe elaborate on that, like, Charles, you're coming in and you're really messing with some iconic characters.
Yeah,
on
right.
the
I was a little squeamish about that when I realized that I was actually out to get Laura. So I don't know where that's headed. He certainly tried had a couple of attempts. I was a little shocked to find out about Luke, quite honestly. So yeah, there's no depths to which Victor apparently won't go. So everyone's fair game in Port Charles as far as Victor's concerned. No one is safe, not even Laura, not even our mayor.
Marcus, Lisa, she says she loves the Elvis skit with you and Scotty. Did you just one with Ken about Elvis? She wants another look, she says.
Who's this?
Another look?
Her name is Lisa.
Lisa is obviously talking about your social media presence and all your TikTok.
Who knew? Yeah. So Scotty is a big Elvis fan, and we were just messing around, and that song came on, and I don't know what to say. There's that. Ken's amazing, man. He's such a character, and between him and Maurice, I feel like if you just put a camera on them, you're gonna get something that's golden and fun to watch.
Now, how did that come to pass? You were doing your own sort of social media stuff, and then Mo jumped in and said, "Hey, we should do some stuff together." Is that what happened?
Yeah. So as you do, you have many different jobs as an actor. Sometimes when you're not working, so I've edited and I've done sound and camera and stuff like that, and I've explored directing. And so I would kind of put together these funny videos, and then I started capturing Maurice, and he wouldn't even know what I was going to do. I would just catch him doing something, and then I would do my performance later and put it together. And then it just kind of started to evolve into this thing that it's now, it almost feels like a mini series, you know, that's kind of developed.
It's funny how things domino, right? You couldn't have predicted, but all of a sudden you've got, you know, Ken and you've got Mo wanting to be a part of your ball game.
It's so crazy to have, like, because I used to do this with my friends, but now you know, Mo's won 3 Emmys, and it's wild to be playing these games that I've played since I was 15, making little videos with like such legitimate actors, you know? It's wild.
So what you're saying is you're using Maurice.
Oh, 100%. Yes, I'm 100% using Maurice.
Using Maurice for likes, shares, and comments. That's a t-shirt.
Yes.
So Annie, I think obviously we're doing the cast line man this morning. There's one missing. Nicholas is not here with us.
He's in jail.
He's in jail.
Annie says, shout out to all of you, a special shout out to Nicholas Chavez. So I would just say, what has your guys' experience been working with Nicholas and Spencer throughout the last couple of months?
Is he going to see this?
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully.
We don't have to repeat the question, right? They can hear you.
They can hear me. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's it been like working with Nicholas and this story that's greater?
You know, I'll go first because he's an extraordinary young man. I mean, again, so mature in his being as a person and as an actor. You know, he is very serious, very caring about the work, but can have fun. I mean, he's so confident in what he does that when we are working scenes, the short time that we have, he's really up for sort of playing with it and finding levels and different ways of going at a scene, which is remarkable in someone as young as he is. So I've been blown away by him from the beginning.
I feel the same way. Sometimes you see, you know, like maybe young actors today don't have the benefit of going to a conservatory or something, or working on movement and your technique and scene study to the degree that some of you guys have. And sometimes you find them sort of adopting a level of an attitude,
right.
and it works for them, and that's great. And then they're just really trying to learn the words. This is a young man who obviously knows how to do the work and has obviously puts the time into it, because by the time he shows up, he doesn't have a script in his hand. You know, he's ready to go. He's made his choices. He knows what his objective is, and it's really inspiring actually to see, because he's mysterious and authentic, and it's no wonder that he won the Emmy this year.
Speaking of kind of developing your characters and things, Jennifer Stein says, are you ever asked about giving input as to the direction you'd like to take your characters? And on top of that, what is one of your favorite storylines that you've gotten to do on the show?
I haven't had the chance to give any input really on the direction of the character, which is what I kind of like about it is I never know what's going to happen with Nicholas, and as soon as I think, you know, he's finally out of the hot water, there's another thing that he's doing that's just like, I can't believe this is what's going to happen, and it kind of adds a surprise to it. I'm sure that maybe there are, I don't know, have you guys been given the chance?
Well, I think, you know, the nature of the beast is, you know, most shows there's an arc. You know, you do a pilot and then you get picked up. You know, you've got 8-10 episodes of the season. So you can like work out an arc of character and story. With the daytime shows, it's open-ended, so you don't want to get trapped into a particular character arc that then can't go in unexpected and sort of slightly crazy directions, because you may be doing this for years. So what I like about it is, even if one had input and said, this is where I think Victor should go, after about 4 months, I'd like be going, well, actually, maybe he should go over in this direction. And then they say, let's go this direction. So there really wouldn't be much point, because the fun of it, as Marcus is saying, is that you just don't know quite where they're going to head. I think if they wrote something that was really antithetical to the character that you understood, that really went against the grain, I would put my hand up and say, and have a conversation, but that's never happened.
Yeah, I think it's so incredibly difficult to make this work day after day, month after month, year after year, the last thing I'd want to do is walk into the writer's room or the producer's room and say, "Hey, I have a problem."
Yeah.
You know? I'd rather sort of I'd rather fix it the best I could. Now, what I've seen over the years, because I've done this off and on for decades now, is I've seen actors and actresses lean into something or flirt with somebody that isn't necessarily in their storyline,
Right.
and hoping that a writer's going to see some spark and go,
Right.
"Oh, that's an idea that I hadn't thought of." I've seen
Oh,
that.
that's
now.
Right, and the
Yeah.
opposite. You know, it's. I have to confess a number of times, not necessarily on this show, but other shows, where I haven't liked the way something's going. You just do it badly.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You just sort of lean out of it.
Lean out of a
and they go, "Well,
situation.
that didn't work," and you go, "I know, I tried, but darn it."
Yeah.
And then that's
Oh,
scrapped.
I see this.
Ragda Rahama, I probably butchered her name. She would like to know how you guys would describe the relationship between your three characters, between Victor, Valentine, and Nicholas. Maybe
Well,
that's- if you end up with like one
The
word.
relation, I would say did you say a one-word answer? Is that
Well,
what you said?
that was me, but yeah, if you want.
I would say fear and loathing
Right.
of my father. The interesting thing about Nicholas is that Valentine's already tried to kill him once. He just won't die.
Yeah, fear, distrust, loathing. Yeah.
But weirdly,
bullying.
they're all still weirdly a unit. At the same
That's
time.
what's strange to me is I actually feel, and I don't know if it's because I like these guys so much off of set, but there's such a love. But there's this, I feel like the Cassadine family for me, what's evolved is just almost pain equals love. And so as much as I hate these guys, there is this weird bond and I enjoy them. But, and even Valentine, who did try to kill me, I don't know why, but whenever I work with him, there's always this underlying like a brotherly love type of feeling for me. And for Uncle Victor, I think he's really charming, even though I don't trust him and I hate him and I want to kill him a lot of the times. But there is this kind of enjoyment of him, you know?
Yeah, I hate to draw references to other shows, but what I enjoy about this is a sort of echo of Succession. You know, that it's a completely dysfunctional, treacherous family, but they're birds of a feather. This is what they know. It's how they've grown up, and so they're all kind of trapped in this macabre dance of fear and loathing. But in the end, you know, the Cassadines would probably come together against a common enemy.
Charles, Tiffany Prince wants to know, I mean, I think this is probably springboarding off there, but you had some cute scenes with Lynn Herring
Oh, yeah.
this week. She really wants to know, though, has Victor given up on Liesel? That's
You know, that's a great question, and one that I've asked myself many times, because Lisa, you know, Kathleen and I, that was the first scenes I had were with her in Greece, and it was set up that, you know, we were passionate lovers, and I was obsessed with her, and then it sort of got put on the back burner, and now I sort of occasionally bump into her and say, "You do know I'm absolutely madly passionately in love with you, don't you?" "Yes, I know." And then I kind of never speak to her again for a while. So, and now, yes, there's sort of something going on with me and Lynn, and so I don't know. It's kind of like what we're saying. I've thought, should I ask and find out what the story is? And I thought, no, let's just let it play as it plays. And in a way, that's more fun. You just play whatever comes up. But I don't know about Lisa Albrecht. You know, I adore Kathleen. I mean, I love our scenes together. So I hope
take
that's
her
sort
away
of...
from her schnitzel.
Yeah, so I said, which is kind of fun. That whole thing, like, talk about this, you know, your stupid lawyer boyfriend. I think it's kind of fun.
A lot of people, I mean, you can't answer this. A lot of people want to know if Esme is really dead. But I would say maybe let's talk about Avery for a second. Like, a lot of you guys have been very involved in that story. What's it been like from your perspectives?
Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect example of why I'm happy that I don't put my input into the story, because if I would have said there's no way Nicholas would ever sleep with Esme. And then it happened, and it's created so many interesting story lines and branches, and Avery is such a great girl to work with. I mean, she's super talented, but she's also another. I mean, honestly, this entire cast, I feel like they're all incredibly nice people and incredibly talented people. So I've really enjoyed Esme. I've enjoyed like that whole incredible mess that it's created, because now you get to like push yourselves in places that I would never go in real life, you know, and explore feelings that I would never really feel in real life. So I've found it pretty exciting.
Donna wants to know, I mean, have any of you worked with Roger Howarth all that much? I feel like...
Yeah, I've worked with him a little.
She wants to know how much fun he is to work with. I think, you know...
Roger's incredibly intelligent. I mean, he's a terrific actor. I've always thought so. I've known of his work for decades, since One Life to Live. But he's really intelligent, has great ideas. He's a dynamite. He's so ironic and so funny. I like him a lot. You gotta be on your toes though, because he's also really aware of what you're doing, and he's going to change what he's doing based on what you give him, which is really fun, especially in this medium, because so many of us are just basically chasing the punctuation in the sentence. Please let me get to the period. Please let me get to the period. And he's playing jazz.
James, Lucy has another question for you about the nurse's ball, which I think actually is a fun one. She says, will Valentine ever play the piano and sing to Anna like he did for Nina at the nurse's ball? So sexy, all caps, and romantic.
Valentine got to sing for Nina twice, and at least twice, I think. And I have not gotten to sing for Anna. I would love to.
Are there any songs you think?
Being put on the spot, that would be. Oh wow! I should have thought that one through. Let me get back to you on that one.
Well, here, this can go to all three of you. Who is your favorite like on-screen partner to work with on GH? If you have to just pick just one.
Oh, James Marcus.
Yeah, it's obviously James Charlie.
Charles Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
Finola is a close second.
I would say Maura for me is a close third or second, you know, after Charlie and James. But I've worked with her for so long now. It really feels like home when I have scenes with her, and it's just comfortable, and I really enjoy that love story.
It's like you become like tennis like doubles partners.
Yeah,
you guys have each other's backs, and
that's
really satisfying. Mm-hmm. Especially considering how dangerous what we do is. I mean, the danger of having one take to get everything you want done. Having somebody at your back is nice.
Yeah.
Well, here, a lot of people want to, like, they're asking, like, if Victor has Jason or Luke or Laura locked away somewhere. Obviously, you can't answer that question, but are you ever filled in when there's a long story and you know, there might be a twist or turn coming? Is there any, like, how do you guys play that when you go from one thing, you do a bait and switch, or maybe your character's responsible for killing Luke Spencer in a
you know, as you said before, I haven't been filled in, and I haven't, to my knowledge, really asked unless it was something really essential, like who is this person I'm working with opposite. But no, I don't know, and there could be all kinds of twists. And sometimes it's better not to know.
And what's it like for you when you finally get to the part in the script where you realize, when you see the twist?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. How am I going to do that?
All right.
The fact is, there is a supercomputer at the end of the hallway named Elizabeth Cordy, and she can be visited if you need to know, because they do know. There's like a Bible that goes.
Oh, she was great. Elizabeth's great. When I first came on, I talked to her a phone call, just getting basics, just so I knew basically who this guy was. But then details of storyline, and you know, like the Luke Spencer thing, I was shocked when it turned out that I might have been responsible for that cable car killing, you know, this icon of daytime TV.
I mean, can you tell him a little bit more about Elizabeth? She's just such a iconic part of the staff here.
She's not technically head writer, but she's sort of the super sort of
Right.
thing that sort of floats over. She knows everything about the show that ever happened, that ever will happen, and the logistics of keeping everybody informed is just impossible.
Right.
But if you ever feel like I'm stumped, I need to know, you go down the hallway, you knock on the door, and she'll tell you. She's pretty humbling, and she's a great dialogue writer too. I mean, she does wonders for the show. And you know, there's so many people here that do stuff like that
Right.
in their own departments that you don't
We
realize.
don't know,
This whole thing would just fall down like a house of cards
Yeah.
without these people doing what they do.
Yeah.
James, a lot of people are asking about Charlotte, I think just because they really like the dynamic you've had with the both actresses who played that character.
Yes.
What has that been like with you, just developing that relationship?
Well, the original Charlotte Scarlett, who started school, have a good time at school, love. She was very quiet, and she was adorable. She was this tiny little thing, and I bought her years and years ago. I bought her some crayons and a coloring book, and we got along like a house on fire. It helped that I was a father. Now, what's happening, I think, to the Charlotte character is she's away. You know, it's tragic what's happening, that she's being held, kept away by Valentine. I don't think I'm
Victor.
I'm stopping myself because I'm wondering if I'm saying something I'm not supposed to be saying.
Everyone knows
Right,
that.
by Victor.
Yeah.
But really what's happening is I'm sure she's growing at a very, very fast rate. So when she comes back, she'll be 23.
Right.
Marisol, she wants to know why the cast signs enjoy pushing people off the parapet so much, and what's that like for you guys when we do film those scenes?
It's so great, especially throwing Nora off. It's just so great. It's just fun.
It's just funny.
Don't
Yeah,
knock it till you try it.
Yeah, you know if it's in a scene that there's definitely, there's a 50-50 shot someone's going over it. I think I've only seen, so I've seen obviously Esme and Ava, but I've also kissed on, so to me it's 50-50. The parapet, it's dangerous, it's exciting, it's sexy.
Have you made out up there?
Yeah.
See, I never got to
I've
do
done a
that.
little canoodling up on the parapet.
Canoodling on the
Yeah.
parapet. That's another t-shirt.
Exactly.
This is like a typical question we usually get during these Facebook Lives. Jennifer wants to know which actor or actress on the show you do not get to work with. Would you like to have some more interaction?
I thought you were going to say who you don't like.
Don't want.
Yeah,
Who do you definitely not want to work with?
Who do you not get to work with that you
would
wish
like
you
to.
could?
Yeah.
Yeah. Roger. I wish I got to do more stuff with Roger. Yeah. Or Maura. I'd take either one of them.
Watch it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been lucky to work with, I can't think of anyone I haven't worked with.
Nicholas gets around.
Yeah, he really does.
That's good though.
It is.
You don't want to be on an island.
I
Island's the worst
know,
place.
I
Like,
know.
oh, wait a minute. You live
Wait
on
a
an island. What am I
second,
talking
wait a
about? You're literally
second.
on an island.
Well, for the first 6 months, it was me and Jax holed up in his house, so it was really nice to finally be let out of his house and kind of talk to other people, But I feel like I've gotten to work with everybody.
Yeah, I'm working my way slowly through the cast. Victor seems to be getting his fingers into just about everyone's pie. So I'm really looking forward to expanding my library card.
What's terrific?
Dance card.
What's terrific about you is when they go so far here is to put you with people to see who you really work well with.
Mm.
You work well with everybody. So.
Oh,
Now what are they
shucks.
going to do?
Exactly.
So I'm looking forward to working with everyone, because it is, you said earlier, or someone did, that it's just a combination of really nice people and really talented people, and it's rare that you get that, and especially when you're working day in, day out, sort of an ongoing basis, it is such a relief and a joy to work with these people. I haven't, put it this way, I haven't worked with anyone where I've felt in any way, boy, I hope we don't develop that story.
Yeah,
it's-
same.
it never
Except for
happens.
Maurice Bernard.
Yeah.
What a maroon.
Oh my gosh.
I would say we have about a minute and a half left.
And we
so-
have 90
We have
questions.
90 questions. No, I would just like, if there's anything, you've got an open forum right now with the fans, maybe we can round robin it, if you have anything specific to say to them, to thank them for watching, or any
Yeah,
sentiment you'd like
I
to
met
express.
somebody recently that had watched since day one, which is incredible.
Wow.
I mean, 15,000 episodes. And I just, thank you guys so much. You guys literally are the best fans that exist on the planet. And I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, and it's a two-way street. It's like, in a way, it's like that you guys are the lifeblood. It's like the energy comes from you to us. I mean, we're not doing this in a vacuum, and it would be really not fun if it were in a vacuum. And so you're kind of the mirror image of us. It's like that reflection really is helpful every day that we work here. So thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. I mean, I'm just so impressed by the, whatever it is, 150, 200 people that put this together and watching them do it. But at the end of the day, you know, none of us get to do anything that we do without you watching, because without you continuing to support the show, then we just disappear like Findhorn.
Brigadoon.
Yeah.
Port Charles is Brigadoon.
Brigadoon.
So we have to let these people get off so they can watch General Hospital. So.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you so
Bye.
much for joining
Thanks
us.
for coming.
Enjoy
Yes.
questions.